Here we go. Look, guys, we have Paolo again for another episode. Probably last one of the clean meat on the way before a big break with Paolo, because actually Paolo is really busy this period, is cooking every day, 24 hours on 24 hours. He can't feel anymore his fingers, and so we have to give him a little break. So, how are you, Paolo?
I'm fine. What about you?
Uh, my back is killing me, but let's not talk about it. No, it's not good topic. Anyway, probably I don't know how long I can last on this chair. Anyway, so here we
So
go. Today,
change topic and we go straight. Yeah.
yes, but that's the best way. Small game today. We have been talking about wild game, big game essentially. Now we have small game, and I know you guys are a lot of hunters out there that chasing this small game species. So I think that today is a really interesting topic. So Paolo is gonna go a little bit among all the different species, is explaining a little bit what he think about small game, what he likes, what he don't like, and I think we go just through that, and we're gonna discover a little bit about this small game cooking.
Yep. I think I will start with my favorite one. I don't think it's the only mine favorite. It's the hare. I start to learn and to improve my abilities on hare and my techniques when I was in Tuscany. Was the first time I start to treat in a different way, something that again normally it's cooked for a long time, and and there's a lot of ingredients and wine and spices on it. Uh, Again, it's really easy to me. I just when I have the animal in front of
Yeah,
me, it's just recognizing the cuts and the thing I can do with that. And with the hair, there's a lot of things you can make. Uh, the best part, which normally it's when I eat hair, which is cooked from someone else. The best part for me, it's the loin, the back strip, because again, since the hair has this red meat, you can cook it like the roe deer, the deer, the chamois. Again, rare,
yeah,
bloody inside. It's what I really like. And then with all the rest, you can pretty much do the things you do with the rabbit, because you can make long stew with the legs,
yeah,
with the shoulders. You can use all the bones. Again, one thing which I really like of the hair is when you can collect a little bit of blood, because it has all the flavor inside of it. So hunters, if you can bring with you a little bag
of
to
blood.
to keep the blood of the hare. Of course, it's gonna be cooked at the end. I use it normally to thicken up the sauces,
Mm-hmm.
or the stews,
Yeah,
and it's really something that I like. One thing that it's a little provocation. One thing that I tried once, and it's even better than the backstrip. It's the hair tartar. So with
hair
the with
tartar,
the
hair
legs,
tartar.
with the legs, yeah, just like clean the muscles, cut it in a small dice it, and olive oil, salt, a little bit of pepper, and that's it. And you have something really awesome. Of course, you should use a hair which is not too damaged from the shot, which is in good health.
Yeah,
But if you want to try, just you have to
you have
once
to.
in your life.
Yeah, because
You have
I
once in
remember
your life.
that. Yeah, in Italy, I have some hairs that they were cooked, and actually, yeah, we get back to that concept that long preparation, marinate for a long time, and I never tried your type of dishes, and actually it's kind of interesting because going far from the tradition again, and
A
that's
little
good.
bit, It's just keeping the tradition for the cuts that are suited for that. I mean, shoulders again, legs, the neck, all the ribs. the bones. You can make a wonderful stew
Yeah.
or a stock, and with that you just follow the tradition. But with the other things, that you can cook it in a different way. So just try to imagine and taste if the meat it's safe and it's
Yeah.
clean. Try to do with that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just experimenting, and
It's
I
the
don't think
best
you're
way.
gonna ruin anything. It's just try and try to take out the best from the old animal
So if I
to
understood,
enjoy.
guys, you just apply a little bit what Paolo have said in all these podcasts, like for the small deer, the roe deer. Actually, we are the same little bit, if I understood, the same technique and same
Little
preparation, more or
little
less.
bit, little
Okay,
bit.
that's good. That's good. So, what do you think about the meat of the hare? It's. Do you like it?
I really like it.
What about to a wild rabbit, for example? Compared,
I didn't have that much rabbit to say which is the best one, but I think that
is your
the hare
favorite?
wins.
Is your
Yeah,
favorite?
because again, you can cook it rare,
Yeah.
and that is awesome. It is really
So,
awesome. With a wild rabbit, you can't.
just a little curiosity, just drop in my head. How often do you prepare, for example, here in the restaurants that you are working with, like in this period?
It depends. Normally, it's something that I make during the autumn, because
Okay,
it suits really really well with all the ingredients you have in autumn. And again, it depends on the hunters, how many hares they
yeah.
can bring to me.
If they
Sometimes
provide
it's just
you,
yeah, it's just an extra on the menu. We have a few
sometimes,
portions of that, and it's just sometimes
yeah,
you can buy hare if you
yeah.
want, but I don't like the way they treat it. I prefer
So
to
it makes sense.
butcher it
Actually,
myself.
you are following the hunting season, in Italy, more or less.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
actually, the people they go to your restaurant. Actually, they have some recipes and dishes, depending on the period.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
depending on the days even, because
Yeah.
again, with an hair, you can finish in one service, and then the day after you don't have it, and you have to change or
True.
make another things, or you can have a dish made with the back strip, and it's just the extra that goes
Yeah.
that day. Then with the legs and the shoulder and all the rest of the animals, you
Yeah.
can make a ragu and have it more days. But normally, yeah, I
Good.
follow the hunting season, and what's coming, just prepping and cooking it.
So, guys, if
Uh,
you're around the north of Italy, Piemonte, and you just want to, understand the things that Paolo has been talking about, because it's good that you talk, talking. But I just suggest to all the Italians that have this possibility, during this period, because now the weather is nice, the summer, okay, or you want to bring the loved one to have a good time together. Please DM Paolo Managoods on his Instagram. He's gonna give you the address of the restaurant where he's working.
yep, just
That's
write me.
Yeah. So guys, really, really, I would love if someone. I mean, I'm stuck in France for so many different reasons, but if someone of you guys gonna DM Paolo Managoods and say, "I want to try your restaurant," okay?
Just come.
The first three guys, they're gonna do that, and I know that they went to that restaurant. Paolo's gonna tell me they're gonna receive 3 T-shirts from Altitude and Trails. I'm just making this giveaway from out of
Oh,
nowhere. Okay,
okay. We have a
so
competition right now.
now you have to find me 3 guys that say, "Oh, I listened to your podcast, and then I want to
I
try
will.
one of your dishes." So
I will. My
so
pleasure.
if you
Yeah.
have 3 of those, that the first three, okay, remember that first three person that they come to your restaurant and gonna say, "Oh, podcast," but now it's time to really understand if you're good or not, Paolo.
Come,
Okay,
come. We're gonna rock you.
3 T-shirts. Okay, we have different.
Okay.
Well, okay, it's good
Okay.
giveaway.
Okay.
We're gonna describe a little bit
The
better.
cook and the judge.
Nice. So air. Okay, boom. Skip. Another species, Paolo.
Another species I would like to speak about. I would like to speak about Just a sec with the camera
It's
incoming.
okay. We have a little technical problem. It's okay.
And
It was too much
again,
excitement, so, you know.
I will speak about all the birds, grouses, pigeons, wild pigeons, woodcock,
Nice.
pheasant, and so on. The thing I like to say before speak about on how to cook it is just make a difference between the one that has the red meat, let's say all the ducks, the wild pigeon, the woodcock, and all the others that has like more lighter meat, let's say like a chicken, like a turkey. Why I say that? Because with the ducks, with the wild pigeons, so with the red meat one, again, it's a pity to overcook it. You're gonna eat something which is good, which are the legs, which are the wings, which are all the body with the bones to lick a little bit. Something which is not good, overcooked of that kind of birds is the breast, because again, I don't know if any of you had tried a duck or a wild pigeon, just like cook it rare. Let's say 54 to 70 degrees core temperature Celsius core temperature for the breast. That is one of the most wonderful thing there is in the world, and that's the treatment for the one which has the red meat. Of course, again with the wings, with the legs, you have to go with overcook it, which is good. Something I don't really understand. It comes from tradition, but it's something I don't really understand. We learn to cook the whole bird inside like a pot, onto the oven, on the barbecue. But of course, you cannot reach the perfect cooking of the whole animal, because the legs will go and overcooked, but the breast, they have to cook it really really fast and quick to enjoy that. So just split the two things if you know how to debone it, and that there's one temperature for the breast and one temperature for the legs and so on.
I cut you 1 second. It's a question for you, because this is one of the things that I experienced here in France. You said don't cook the entire bird.
Yep.
So even with all the interior inside, I mean all the guts inside?
No, the guts, except for the woodcock, which is normally used to make a pâté in Tuscany. But except for the woodcock, all the intestines and guts and liver, heart,
been taken out.
Yeah.
But what happened is, like, my neighbor, just like I don't know, probably I talk a lot about neighbor in these video series, even in stories, whatever. But he's a shepherd. He has lands around my house, and he's a hunter. And one day he said, "I have something special for you." And when people talk like this, normally I am excited, you know. It's not every day it is. Someone is going to tell you, you know, I'm something special for you. So I said, what is this? I cooked a woodcock yesterday, and I'm going to bring you. You just have to warm it up a little bit, and it's going to be amazing. Man, I have to be honest. I am nothing against people, against probably traditional ways how to make this, but how to make the different dishes. I think that I have eaten my worst dishes since the age of my time, you know, since I was born, because the bitter taste of that woodcock was just insane. Yeah. And he said, yeah, this is it's done like that. We leave everything inside. And he cooked like that, but the taste was horrible. I don't know what had happened, that poor woodcock, but there was just insanely, really impossible to you know, to enjoy.
Yeah. No, the thing is that if you separate on that kind of birds, the breast, sometimes the bones,
it's difficult
legs,
because it's tiny,
and so on, the guts. It is, but Baptize.
Exactly.
Just use it. how to use the finger is just that.
Exactly.
And again, if you can separate, you have different tastes. You can arrange all the tastes, like from, okay, I will make a pate from the guts, the liver, and the heart. I will make the other cut, the breast, cook it, sear it really really quick, and then eat it rare. The other part, I will overcook it and use it for a ragu, or use it like a side preparation with the breast, like a stew, a small stew.
Yeah.
If you can separate that, you can balance all the different flavor, every cuts and every small things it has, and you can balance it. Of course, if you cook it all together, it's just like a melting of everything. Then again, one thing of that kind of bird is that if you go and you overcook the blood, it turns a little bit like the liver when you overcook it. It's like a bitter taste, a much more bitter taste.
That's probably what happened also at the same time.
Also, the contents of the guts of the woodcock could be anything, but if you can separate it, it's much better.
Okay.
It's one thing you can't do if you want with the other birds. So the one that has the lighter color meat, let's say pink meat.
Yeah.
With that kind of bird, you can separate all the cuts, and that is good. Again, one thing I would say is the temperature, the core temperature in Celsius degrees for pheasant, for grouses, and so on. Let's say it's between 60 and 65 Celsius degrees core temperature for the breasts. Then all the rest of the animal, you can go and cook it the way you want, but with the breast, please go try to reach that temperature and taste the breast. At the end, it's like a normal chicken. The fact is that they use much more the breast to fly and
the muscle engagement is a lot different.
So of course, you have to treat it in a different way. It's much more. There is much more or less fat. So just balancing that, less fat, 60 degrees, a little bit more fat, 65, and try to reach that. I think it's something really interesting.
Makes sense.
If you want to cook it all, you can with that kind of birds. And in my memory, there's one thing which is awesome, and I tried it in Spain. And again, once I tasted it, I say, okay, for me, this is the way to enjoy the whole bird, and it's to make the escabeche. So you just cook your pheasant, your grouse,
your bird.
You boil it. So just like a normal bollito of that kind of bird, and then you just marinate it like an escabeche. So with vinegar, with white wine, you just make that marinade. Let's say you stew a little bit the onions, herbs inside, laurel, rosemary, a little bit of thyme, garlic. Then you put it's half the quantity of white vinegar, half the quantity of white wine. Keep it to boil, and then you cover the whole cooked animal, and you leave it like this, like let's say a week. At least. Yeah, and all the acidity of the vinegar starts to melt down all the proteins and the cartilagens that are inside the bird, and it's really awesome. That you have to try.
I never tried this.
First, when you have a lot of grouses, instead of put it in the freezer, because they're really delicate to put in the freezer. Normally, after 1 month, a couple of months, the freezers start to burn the meat of the bird.
It's because of the meat is fragile type of meat.
Yeah, it's that. It's because everyone in his house doesn't have a vacuum machine. We don't have a blast chiller, which is much better for that kind of animal. Normally, we stuff it in a bag and just put it in the freezer. If you do that, but I hope that it's something that everyone of you know. Leave the feeder on. Just take the animal, clean it from the gut, feather on, and into the freezer. It's much better if you want to preserve it for a longer time. But of course, You go hunt. Let's say you come home with 4, 6 grouses, 2 or 3 pheasant.
Yeah.
Could happen.
Yeah, you don't have time for
Try
probably.
to go with the escabeche. Then you can hit it like this. You can put it in a fresh salad. You can use it for an appetizer. There's plenty of things you can make with it, and even the breast, while is cooked and then let to be marinated in the escabeche, in the one we call carpione here in Piemonte, gets tender and juicy, and it's awesome. It really is.
Nice,
It is.
nice. That's a lot of information actually. That's pretty good. So all the gun dogs owners out there could be nice to try what Paolo said. Yeah. So this was for all the type of actually perdrix grouses. So we can put in this category. So what about like anything special about ducks?
About ducks.
So it's already a different type of meat, right?
Except the fact that I really love it because I love the duck. I love the skin of the duck. I love the crispiness of the animal, the texture of the breasts. Uh, you can cook it. You can cook the whole animal with the duck. Should be a really low temperature cooking for a long time. You don't have to be in a hurry when you cook the duck. But for me, again, the best way to give back the respect to the animal is just to take the breast out and cook it like rare. So
Rare.
again, from 54 to 60 degrees, the core temperature for the breast. A little hint: if you cook it in the pan, let's say for 10 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
15 minutes, you can check the temperature inside with a small thermometer or a small stick of metal. You can put it in and try it on your hand and see the temperature inside, which is it's much more empiric, but
Yeah.
work after a few practice at work. And let's say if you cook it for 10 minutes, put it in a warm place, not say too hot, but in a warm place, even a small container with a lid on top of it,
Yeah.
to rest. Again, out of 10 minutes. So you cook it for 10 minutes, you let it rest for 10 minutes. Then you can cut it, salt it, and enjoy it.
Nice.
That would help on all the liquids inside the piece of meat to rest a little bit, to redistribute in the fibers.
Yeah,
And
liquid
it's
that
much
it will give
juicier.
taste.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So
Nice.
that's the hint. And then again with the if you can use the neck and made like a kind of terrine inside the skin of the neck. So you just take the skin out from the neck, and then you stuff it and you boil it and make like a little salame
Wow.
of that boiled one,
Oh, that's interesting.
using all the small minced meat you have around the bones. Even you can put inside the liver, the hearts, which are really good. Again, ducks for me are like the hare. Are the best one, the best bird you can have, and there's nothing else to say. Then again, you can go with all the ingredients you have during the hunting season.
Yeah.
It goes really well with the pumpkin, with orange, of course. It's well known,
Nice.
the oranges, but a lot of other fruits, acid fruits you have in that period, wild herbs, salad. It's really wonderful, the duck. And then with all the bones, you can make a
So.
wonderful sauce again
Oh,
to
okay.
pair with the breasts.
Nice. It looks
You don't
like.
have to throw away anything.
Yep. It's everything there actually. Everything there. So we
It
have a
is.
couple of minutes actually. I can ask you just the last question because this
Yeah.
is, talking about small game. Reminds me the trip that I did with Davide. And we were chasing the rock ptarmigan, so the snow grouse, as some people call it, even like that. And I wanted to ask you if there is anything that could be applied in the field. For example, for the hardcore people, they are just like love to spend more time in the field, not coming back all the time. They're trying to stay a little bit more. So you have your bird, and then you want to cook something straight away. Is that possible, or is it better to wait until you get back to the camp or whatever? But I'm talking even for people that are involved in some kind of expeditions. So they are there, probably even they are hunting some big games, and there is during the day, there's possibility to put down some birds. That always good dinner. So
So the wild ones.
yeah, that's the question.
A solution for the savages.
Yes, that's what
I include myself into the savages.
Yeah, probably I'm another one, according to what my wife said all the time. So.
I think the best thing you can do with grouses if you're outside is just to, of course, take all the cleaning from the feathers and open it from the chest or from the back. It depends. So you just have to open the birds like this.
Yeah.
Like they made the churrasco with the chicken in the churrasco in Brazil. So right, okay. Open it like this.
So it's a cut that you do in the middle.
Yeah, you just cut it in the middle, but not the all.
Okay.
You just have to open or the back or the chest, just to wide open.
Okay.
The bird, okay. And then with that on a stone or on a grill, if you can bring a small grill with you, or on a pan, you just
let's say I have a pan like this, like just a good size for the bird. That is not that bulky for the backpack.
You just go with that. A little bit of salt if you have it. Then, of course, if you are in the mountain, you should have wild thyme, Timo serpillo, which it grows in the Alps, or other herbs. I mean, use the stuff you have around it. When you do that kind of things, when I do that kind of things, normally what I like is just to be curious and taste and smell all the things I have around me in the mountain, in fields, and so on. And you can discover that you have all the ingredients right there.
Yeah.
Maybe you have a few blueberries you can put and make a sauce with it.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
You have the wild herbs. You have whatever. Again, hunting season. Maybe it's again for that kind of birds. Autumn, let's say.
Yeah.
Or okay.
More or less.
So you could find again the watercress, which it goes really good. And in the mountain, it's pretty full. You can find mushrooms and whatever. It's just be curious, look around yourself. It's not just you, the animals. There is plenty of things. There's the nature that whisper to you.
So
cook with the things you have around you.
Nice. So summarize that you cut in the middle. So you're not taking any feathers out.
No. You take the feathers out.
Of course, yeah.
And then you just cut it on the back or on the chest to just wide open the animal.
Yeah.
And then you just grill it.
That's it. For how long, more or less? You check on.
I will say you just have to check the breasts.
Okay.
So once in a while, you just go with your fingers, and it has to be, let's say, quite soft.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be
overcooked.
Rare, of course, but
neither overcooked.
Not even dry. It's just you just touch it and it has to be quite soft. With a good fire beneath, I would say it could be 6 to 8 minutes per side, and then you just flip it.
Nice. Wow, that's amazing, actually.
And I will say the best thing would be probably if you just sear it for the first part from the skin, so the skin on the heat.
Yeah.
And then after the 8 minutes, you just flip it, so you have the bones, and the temperature, of course, is still strong, but can pass over the
diffuse
the bones
in a better way.
Not at all. Yeah.
Okay.
So you just make the crispy skin, and then 8 minutes, flip it,
nice.
and you go with the other side. Then, of course, if you like it a little bit more cooked, you can just remove, at that time, you can remove the breast, heat that, and then the other part of the animal, just cook it again
keep it on
on the fire. I mean, we're
Amazing.
talking about being in the wild, so I don't think it's a problem to eat
No,
afterbird and cook
no.
it again to complete the cooking
Nice.
of legs, of the wings, and so on.
Wow. Oh, that was amazing, actually. A lot of good information. I hope that all the other hunters out there will enjoy it. So, Paolo, thanks so much for this podcast. And Clean
Thank
Meat
you
on the
again. Thanks,
Way
everyone.
was a completely huge discovery. It was really interesting. I learned a lot, and actually, I've seen a change even in cooking. Some of the stuff that I've harvested in this period. And what I want to say to all the guys that enjoy and follow us on this podcast is that again, what Paulo said is that it's out there, and to respect the animals that you just took it from the nature. I think that following a little bit these kind of principles is it's just a way to say I respect you, and that's a good way. Still keep that relation wild, keep the relationship humble, okay? Because we are not just out there and that we have the power to do whatever that we want. And even when Paolo said that you can find all the recipes, all the ingredients and the herbs out there, it's a way to make you trying to discover more, try to learn more from the environment where you're hunting. And that was our purpose of the podcast. Probably, we broke we broke your head a little bit too much about all these pieces, but eventually it's easy to get back to one of the appointment, one of the podcasts, and trying to understand. You listen probably later when you have the animal and you want to experience a little bit something different. Okay, so thank you so much, Paolo, and I hope that you're
Thank
gonna
you,
have this.
everyone.
Yeah, there was so much an enjoyment with you. Thank you for your disponibility, and I hope you're gonna get those
Was
three
really fun for me. It was really fun.
those three first guests of your restaurant, and I hope they're gonna enjoy your meal. They will get a T-shirt, so that will be a nice thing if it's gonna happen. Okay, thank you so much, Paolo, and
Okay, I'll wait for that.
so probably see you in the future. Who knows? But
Yeah,
Paolo,
who knows? We'll see. Maybe in the kitchen if you come to the restaurant, or a few videos. We'll see. We're
yeah,
waiting for
we don't know
a few
what.
wild game to
Yeah,
work on. So
nothing is planned for the moment.
nope.
Thank you so much, Paolo. Again, have a nice
Thank you,
day.
Franco.
Thank you. Bye
Ciao,
bye.
everyone.
Bye bye bye.